So we're back. I don't know how we're back. The thousands and thousands of minutes that we spend trying to put these shows together. But we're back here with my fabulous co-host, Wendy Hollywood.
Hello. Just got my hair done, too.
And you know what? And that in the sporty look, I love it. I absolutely love it. And it's very appropriate because we have our first ever returning guest, Miss Nancy Henry, first black female mayor of any town in New Jersey and the best bail bonds person in South Jersey for the last 30 years. And a special guest, the esteemed and highly regarded Ed Kologi, who, among other things, represented Miss Nancy 40 years ago.
That's right.
Welcome all you guys. Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Thank you for coming back.
Happy to have you here. I got to start with Ed. I just got to ask to start. What did you think the first time you met Nancy Henry?
I was an associate at a major criminal firm in Newark. Nancy was the mayor of Franklin Township. I'm doing this all from memory.
That's the best guy.
And there was...
Wait. How old were you?
Oh, God. I'm gonna,
You're going to love this. You're going to love this.
You have to tell your age.
Maybe late 20s.
25, 6? Maybe 7?
68 now. So
right, so 40 years ago.
It's over 40 years ago.
That's it.
And Nancy was the mayor of Franklin Township, which was in Somerset County. Yeah. And there was a rogue county rogue county prosecutor at the time named Nicholas Bissell. And he just had no regard for propriety, for the law, et cetera. And my recollection was that Nancy was publicly criticizing him because of unsolved sexual assaults within Franklin Township.
Right.
And he apparently took it quite personally, and he contacted her and said something like he was going to release an investigatory file he had on her to embarrass her, et cetera, et cetera. So she came to speak to the lead partner at the firm, Raymond A. Brown, who was one of the absolute top criminal attorneys, not only in New Jersey, but in the state. If you Google Raymond A. Brown, you'll see what I mean. And I remember we worked over Christmas Sunday to get paperwork ready to file with Judge Ann Thompson, who only retired like 2 years ago as a United States Federal District Court judge. And we filed an application and we got an injunction against Bissell from releasing any such information, initiated a lawsuit against him. And I'm getting a little fuzzy as to the total results of the lawsuit, but I'll let Mayor Henry address that when she speaks. And ultimately, Bissell had so many legal problems, he ended up basically leaving the area, and he checked himself into a motel somewhere around Las Vegas, and he shot himself to death. So, now, tragic situation. But
the thing that's important about this story, of course, is that Ed is a former bartender.
Correct.
That's true.
And Nancy's a former bartender.
That's great.
Which just shows you the power that bartenders have.
Well, you should have been a former bartender as well. Could have been the common theme of today.
But you know what? I think my job, my calling, is to be the best bar guest I can be. You know, I think that's my job.
Oh, you do a good job at that.
If somebody's sitting there and they're depressed,
you do a good job.
That bartender doesn't have time, I'll listen. You know,
absolutely.
It's good lawyer stuff, but it's good bar guest stuff. See, because the bar guest should be an extension of the bartender. You know, just like Miss Nancy's ringtone is James Bond. You know, I'm the guy from Q Session. You know, I come up with the gadgets and all that kind of stuff so that we can get through the day. So what I want to ask you is just briefly, because I just got to round this out for people. Ray Brown, unquestionably one of the greatest criminal defense attorneys on the East Coast, also what we used to call the best and only black lawyer in New Jersey, right?
Correct.
There's nobody on his level.
Nobody.
And black or white is what I'm saying. And his son now took over that firm long after you were gone. And
Yeah, Raymond, they used to call him Ray Jr. There actually is a Raymond A. Brown Jr., but that's not Ray Brown's son. Ray Brown's son is Raymond Miller Brown. He did continue on with the firm, and eventually Henry first left, and Susan Singer, and Raymond was doing a lot of different things in other countries. He was dealing with the apartheid and all kinds of stuff. And now he's a partner up at the very well-regarded Joe Hayden's firm. And
Up here in Roseland or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
And one last thing we
Joe
got to
Hayden, Justin Walder, I forget the name of it. But
we got to do this just so that we give everybody the credit. Ed went on to be a named partner at the Brown and Brown firm.
Yeah, that was really something, because I joined them in 1980 as a law clerk. In 1983, I passed the bar, and it made me an associate. And in 1988, he changed the name of the firm and made me 1989. I'm sorry, changed the firm to Brown and Kologi and made me a partner. He's only changed the name of the firm. At that time, he had only changed it like 3 times in the so many years he had been practicing. So I mean, you talk about an honor. You know, I always said it was like being with him and his son. It was like being in the locker room at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, it would be like if F. Lee Bailey chose you out of the thousands of guys he could have chosen.
I was a no-name outfielder, and I'm sharing a locker with Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio.
There you go. So, now, one more thing I got to get straight so we can have all the fun. And since then, you've done a lot of municipal and politics-related stuff, right?
Yeah, in 1991, I left because I'm from the city of Linden. There were only about 12 lawyers on the main street. I was a city councilman. I was the city attorney there for 20-some years. And it was just the right thing for me to do at the time, to open up my own practice. But since then, most of our work, in addition to the criminal and DWI and stuff I do, most of it has been representing public bodies, public entities. Police get sued all the time. Politicians get sued all the time. And currently we still have, a lot of this stuff, and I'm getting way too old to try to keep up with it, but we do work for the state Senate. We do work for, I'm the attorney for the city of Trenton City Council. We've got a number of towns, Elizabeth, Linden, and Union County, the county of Union. And I'm very grateful for all of these entities that apparently think we're doing a good job. A number of them, we've been there probably around 30 years, including Plainfield, where Mayor Fury's from, in Union County. And, it's been wonderful.
I've never known you not to do an excellent job.
Well,
never.
You're as good as your last 30-game season.
Do you know what he said before we went on air? He said that Ray Brown told him that what made him such a good guy was his experience as a bartender.
He actually did say that. He used to say,
if
I have guys.
Ever told you some of the stories that Ray Brown told
So
me,
we're here to do this.
you would not believe it.
I'm begging.
I spent a
please?
Sunday with him. He was amazing. Amazing. He was smart, and whatever came up, came out. And that's the way it was with Ray Brown. It was so enjoyable to meet with him. He told me right the first day, don't you worry about Nick Bizzle. We'll take care of Bizzle. Don't you worry. And Henry First, I talk to Henry First almost every day. Every day. Something new. We met in the Somerset County Court. I'll never forget that. He came up to Ray Brown to say hello. And Ray said, who do you want to say hello to? I have no hellos for you. That's just what he said to Nick Bizzle. I have no hellos for you.
Wow.
He said it just as nice. Nick Bizzle just looked at him. I'll never forget that.
I still keep in touch with Henry. Henry's
he was
kind of retired, but not really, because he's such a,
he's 75.
He's such a genius, and he's so great at what he does. But he's slowed down a little bit, but we still talk. I had lunch with him.
I said hello?
I certainly will.
Oh, yes.
In fact, I'm going to call him when I leave here and tell him.
Okay.
So my co-star over here, Wendy Hollywood, is dying to ask you bartender questions, I think. She might ask you political questions. I think she
That's
might.
not a problem. Don't ask me how to make a drink, because I can't remember that. They were all different in those days.
Listen,
Alabama Slammers.
I tell the kids, just make it the right color.
That's it, right?
Yeah. And if I didn't know, I faked it. Most people didn't know what they were drinking anyway. And they would say, oh, my God, this is the best iced tea I've ever had. I just made it up. Yeah. They would say, this is incredible.
May I tell you why Nick Bizzle came after me? The complex where the rapes were taking place. They would call me at 1:45 in the morning. Miss Nancy, would you come down? Of course I went down.
And now who would call you, the police?
The tenants.
Oh.
And I would go down, and 2 white individuals would be sitting in a car in the parking lot.
And who were they?
Prosecutor's office. We all knew who they were.
So they knew what was going on.
They knew while they were at the left-hand side, down in the east side. In the west side, the rape would take place. And all I asked them was, because all of my people know who your officers are, could you please hire some people of color? And that's how it started. We had none. This was 1982. Now, when you go back to 1982, things were a lot different then than they are now.
One of the things that I laugh at all the time, and we talk about this in Wendy's bar, is that it's a fairly upscale bar. I can tell by the prices.
Mm-hmm.
I personally go there because I'm least likely to run into my clients there, right? But it has quite a vibrant African-American clientele. I'm never the only black kid in there. Kid my age, what I'm talking about, right? But 40 years ago in 1982, you couldn't say that too many places.
Certainly couldn't.
Now, what do you see as the difference between today and 1982 in that regard?
When I got on the council, I guess it was 1978 or 79, there was one black woman working in the municipal building. I'll tell you how bad it was. I ran the CETA program, and I had the children for the summer program. I can remember walking
CETA, CETA, right?
Yes,
I can't remember what it stands for. Basically, it's a government program.
It's a government program to put children to work during the summer. I went in with 10 children to work in public works. The older man said, I said, do you know where Ben Wolinchek is? He said, no, I don't. I said, well, I have to talk to him because I have the children here to work. And he said, I don't know what you're going to do, lady. Okay, then he said to me, what is your name? And I said, Nancy Henry. Oh, are you the new councilwoman? I said, yes, sir, I am. He said, 437, Ben Wolinchek, call in. 437, Ben Wolinchek, call in. Wait, and I just stood there smiling. So I said to him, may I have your name? And he said, my name? I said, yes, I had a book. And I took out my pen and I wrote his name. And he said, what do you need that for? I said, because when I think about it, there are about 15 black men who would like to have your job. You know, he was a nervous wreck. I would never do anything like that. But it was the same thing with the police department. I had to go on the radio. I had to go to colleges. I had to do everything to recruit black men for the police department. Well, you're Mount Holly. Just the other day, look what happened there. They showed the Mount Holly Police Department. And all I said on Facebook was, I always feel that the police department should represent the
community that it's serving.
That's right, the community you're serving. And somebody wrote back and said, they have to take a test. In other words, we're not smart enough to take a test. I answered it. Don't worry, I answered him. Many, many, many young blacks don't want to take the test because of the way they were treated by officers. They don't want to be policemen any longer.
I'm hesitant to tell this story.
Tell it.
But having been a criminal defense attorney for a long time now, before that a local mayor, what I always tell my most conservative white Republican friends is, you guys got this all wrong. We weren't after integration. We were just after desegregation. I want to be able to go in the same bar you went in, right? And all that stuff about police brutality. No, we never cared about that. We just wanted the same curbside adjustment that the kid whose dad could afford the Cadillac could get. That's all. Just treat me the same as him. When I was a kid, if the cops pulled you and your friends over, they'd take your weed, they'd take your beer,
right.
They send you home. That's called a curbside adjustment, right? Because they could have batted you in the head and took you downtown and called your parents, right? So all the black kids wanted was, can I get that same deal just like once in a while? Because
Just once in a while.
sooner or later I'm going to get caught with beer and weed. And if you would please just call my dad, I could take that. I could take that. But, I guess I tell this story because based on where you were in 1982, you were always a trailblazer.
I was.
She's like our poet partner.
Yep.
She never shares her poetry.
Well, I'll tell you, there was I pulled out in front of a cop, and I was like 17, 18. Now, my oldest brother is 18 years older than me, so he could, in fact, be my father.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave my license to the cop that I literally cut off. There was like a curve, and I don't know, whatever. And it was right in front of the police office.
Stuff happened.
No, he literally looked at my license. He goes, "You're lucky I know your father," and let me go.
Okay.
Now, my brother is an attorney, so I think he thought my brother was
Your father.
my father, which I thought was hilarious. I'm like, there's no way you know my dad obviously was older when he had me because he had an 18-year-old when I was born. I'm like, there's no way this man knows my dad. I'm like, it's my brother.
And your brother's a lawyer.
Yes.
So he's more likely to have heard of him.
Yes. So, which he does a lot of what you do, represents municipalities. And
My father was a cop, and if he wasn't a cop, my driving abstract would probably be 150 pages long. In the old days, if you had a little too much to drink, the officer pulled you over. He said, "Have you been drinking?" You would say, "Of course I've been drinking. Look at me, all the shore bars, everything." Once he found out your father was a cop, he would get in a car and drive you home, and his partner would follow in the police car.
Mm-hmm.
And he would say, "If this car is moved, I'm going to send you so many tickets, blah, 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 blah."
That's a curbside
The PBA
adjustment.
cards, the police
That's
used to
true.
take them and mail them back to my father and say, "Your son doesn't deserve
That's what I'm saying.
a PBA
You know
card."
what they
I got a
did to
few in
us?
here.
But that's the whole thing. So in when I was mayor, like 93, 94, everything was about community policing. And you got to put people
That had
look
just
like-
been coming out
okay,
then, right?
Right.
It was-
And again, the only goal was, I know that little bastard, right? I know his mom and his dad, right? I know his cousin. I know his brother who was a bum, but I know his sister who's a queen, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. I'm not making stereotypes, but I'm saying I know you, son, well enough to know that if you're out here at 11:30 at night and none of the other kids on your block are out here,
You're not doing something right.
something's wrong.
You didn't go through anything like I went through in Somerset. Totally different. Okay, totally different. Listen, I have to tell you, I have a story of a little boy who was with his father at the Chinese restaurant. And he told his father that the little black boy riding a bike, that's my bike that he stole. Father cut him off. They're all over on Hillside Avenue talking about it. And I get a phone call Sunday afternoon. "Nance, can you come over? What's going on?" I'm not going to say the name of the officer, but he was belittling the mother because her husband was always intoxicated and beat her up, and the cops always had to go there. So I told them, "I'm coming over, but I'm in pajamas, and I'm going to wear a trench coat." So when I got there, I told everybody to be quiet, and I stood in the crowd. He told the young lady, "The next time you call me about your husband, I'm going to put your ass in jail. He's going to go free." Oh, I was listening to everything. So finally I stepped forward and he said, "Oh, Mayor Henry, we didn't see you." I said, "It's quite evident that you didn't see me." Now, she has told you that she bought the bike in North Brunswick and she has a receipt for it. That's where we should start. I want you to take her home to get the receipt. I want you to put the bike in your car and take the little boy to the police station, and I'm going to call the chief and we'll meet there. So we go to the police station. The bike that was stolen was a 26 inch. The bike the little boy had was 24. You know what the policeman said? "Do you think they switched tires?" I said, "Well, let me ask you something. Can you put a tractor trailer tire on your car?"
On your Mercedes
Yeah,
Benz,
that's
right?
what I want to know. Can you do it? That's how stupid they were. And it was same thing with the black bars. They would call me at 1:30 in the morning. "Nance, you got to come over." Why? "He's waiting outside for us to come out at 2:00 to give us tickets." But the white bar right up the street, they would do exactly what you said. They would drive them home. The other car would go behind them. But at our bars, they were right across the street. So I would go, open the front door and wave to the policeman. Once he said hello to me, he took off. All right. But I went through that.
Well, let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask each of you this question.
But I will tell you, they don't do that now.
Well, I can
Thank
start
God.
with you. I'm going to start with you with this question.
I will actually tell you, I have a friend that's a bartender. Every time he left his bar, not to imbibe, but to work. He was pulled over by the same cop.
And was he by any chance African American?
Was not.
Was not.
No.
It was just some cop had it in for him?
Mm-hmm. So he finally said, this is harassment. I'm going to get a lawyer and sue you.
And how long ago was this?
It was pre-COVID.
So we're talking in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years. Because my question was going to be, you've been in the bar business, in the restaurant business for almost your whole life, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen improvement in the way people get along in the establishment and how they're treated when they leave?
I mean, I've told you before, I treat everyone the same.
You do. You certainly do.
You know, my father had said to me, if it's the only day of the year that these people can come out, treat them with respect. And I have.
And you specifically told me a story. And he said, don't worry about the tip. Because these people may be spending their last dime just to get the one fillet that they're going to split.
Yep. And I mean, I do. I treat everyone the same. But I don't know why I'm tearing up right now.
Because we have
you're emotional.
Because we have a fantastic show and you've gotten to the heart of it.
And you know what else? You're very emotional and you care. And that's
care.
very important. You're showing it by crying. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, you cried the last time.
I always cry.
These two make each other cry.
I always cry.
That is not part of my calculation.
No, but I always
It
cry.
never occurred
Can we
to me
cut
that
this part
might
out?
happen. No, I'm going to tell our partner. There's no cutouts. There's no cutouts in baseball.
No, because I'm not supposed to be emotional. I'm
Who
not
told you
emotional
that?
at work. I am feared by my employees.
Oh, I can confirm that. She's
She is?
literally she refers to herself kindly as the mom of the 40 people that are working on any shift. I'd say she's like the what was remember the old westerns? There's always a role for the cowboys, the ramrod.
Right.
She's the ramrod.
But
Get
That's
those
good.
doggies moving.
That's good. They depend on you.
the kids that I mean, that's what I call them.
Yeah.
They come to me about all their problems,
Right.
and there's some of them. They're like, "Can you please be my mom?" I'm like,
But they expect an answer. They
and
expect
I give
you
it to them.
guide
I
them.
give it straight.
There's nothing wrong with that.
If you want a direct answer, you're going to ask me. I'm not going to sugarcoat.
And you're going to tell them the truth. That's
So
right.
what do you find is the difference between the kids that you're coaching now at 20 and 25 and 30 years old versus when you were 20, 25, or 30 years old?
They're lazy. They are lazy, and they want everything for nothing.
Parents do that.
And that is black, white, male, female, private school, public
right.
school, doesn't matter, right?
Yep. I had a kid, and this was also pre-COVID. He was in his 20s. His mom made his bed. His mom did his laundry. And I said to him, I'm like, does your mom chew your food for you too?
You wonder why he's lazy.
Yeah.
You
And
wonder
some
why.
other
Yep.
who enabled.
Well, all right, so let me ask you this question, because we've been on the kick lately about participation trophies, right? This is my big story. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Good.
In a normal high school career, 4 years, 3 sports seasons a year, that's 12 opportunities to win a varsity letter, right? Jim Brown won 12 varsity letters. In 12,
Fred Williamson,
okay,
look what
right?
he won.
Ray Lewis, you know, there's guys that do this. Go ahead and ask me how many varsity letters I won in my 12 opportunities.
Go ahead.
0.
One.
And it took me 3.5 years. And the only reason I won that one letter is they literally ran out of running backs on the football team till like there was nobody left that knew the position at all. And I had hung around for 3.5 years. And the joke of this is, to me, at the time I was 5'6", 130 pounds. Today I'm 5'11", 230 pounds. So when I say I play football now, people believe it. But the kid that played that, it took everything I could do to show up for practice every day, knowing I was going to get beat up by the first team defense, knowing I was going to get ignored by the coach, all that kind of crap. But I can tell you that everything else I have done in life was built on the tenacity that I learned by hanging in there. And wait a minute, there's a benefit.
That's right.
You hang around long enough and something good happens. So when I had trouble in college, I just switched colleges and I kept on going. And when I had trouble in law school, I switched jobs and kept on going. I came back to Jersey and I did this and I did that. But everything I ever did was based on the fact that if I could make this football team, I could do whatever else I wanted to do in life. And that's why I don't believe in participation trophies.
I'm going to call you Rudy. Sounds
Dude,
like the Rudy
he was
story,
probably
right?
smarter and better than me. He's definitely bigger.
Well, I'll tell you, your football team needs a Rudy right now.
Oh, my God. The Vikings?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Who is going to be their
I
quarterback?
didn't take the Vikings yesterday.
I didn't take the Vikings yesterday. I didn't watch the freaking game. So Nancy, you'll be amazed at this. Right? People laugh at me all the time. Why am I a Vikings fan?
Why?
Because when I was 11 and I decided to take football seriously, my dad, the Giants fan, was sick of the Giants and he went shopping for another team. And the first team we looked at was the LA Rams, Roman Gabriel, Deacon Jones, Merlin Olsen,
Pearson Forsyth.
Rosie Greer,
Yeah.
right? And we were going to go with the Rams. But every week you'd see the scoreboard, and this little team up north was winning a game 5-2. How do you win a game 5-2 in football? What the right? They'd win
It's
a
a
game.
hockey score.
Okay, they'd win a game where the defense scored all the points. You know, and that's the year they became the Purple People Eater with Joe Kapp as the quarterback, and then Fran Tarkenton came back and went to 3-4 Super Bowls. And I thought I had the greatest team, and now I have tied the record with Buffalo for the most Super Bowl appearances without a win. But I will tell you this: I later joined a college fraternity, Nancy.
Oh, yeah.
Right, an African,
Mm-hmm.
one of the more prestigious
Certainly
African-American
is.
college fraternities, who has the same color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And so no matter what the Vikings do, I will never,
Coincidence?
ever leave
I
them.
think
right.
not.
Okay? I will never leave them. And no matter how bad they do, I will put that purple and gold on tomorrow, no matter what.
And he does.
You know what?
And he does.
I root for LSU and the Lakers and Camden High because they all wear purple and gold.
And he
you know?
wore it to my award dinner.
Absolutely, I did. I absolutely did. And we had a great time. So tell me the good news, Nancy. Well, that's what I'm trying to get at you. What's the good news about society today? What do you like about it?
Listen, there was a question the other day about, do any of you still keep in contact with your old high school friends? Mm-hmm. I have to tell you, I came out of Southbound Brook, New Jersey, little black street, but I have to tell you, I keep in contact with every one of them. Every one of them. And when we have the, I was the president of the class my freshman year.
Why does that not shock me?
I
at
know,
all?
but I turned the clocks
The
back.
most social human being in the world.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
am. I do. I know. But I keep in contact with all of them, and I'm included in everything. Everything. I find people today judge you by you. They don't judge you by your more than ever. They don't judge you by your color. They don't. They judge you by how you treat other people. If you're respectful, and I'm a talker. You know, I'm a talker. I'll talk
No,
about
not
that.
you.
Oh no! But
If only I had
the world
known,
is
we would've booked
changing. It is changing, and I still think the one law that should be is that parents should be responsible for their children. And there's a municipality somewhere in South Jersey that just enforced that. Because unfortunately, back in the day, if I broke a window playing baseball, my dad went right over
walk
to
over,
take care
you
of it.
pay the
I
bill.
And
think
that's right.
it's either Camden County or Gloucester County.
One of them just passed that law. You're responsible for your children. It's not right not to know what your children are doing. It's just not right.
Listen, I thought the world ended when caller ID came out.
Because then mom knew.
Because, yeah, we had landlines and, you know, it was like, oh, call me when you get to so-and-so's house.
Yeah.
So I had to go to their house and then
call.
and call and then go to
leave.
wherever else I was going
Do you have spam? Do you by any chance get spam calls?
Yes.
all the time.
Listen, I just wrote the politician and said, you have to do something.
There used
It's
to be
ridiculous.
there used to be something where you signed up.
Do not call us. That
Yeah.
didn't
That
work.
doesn't work.
That didn't work. I signed up every 5 years. It doesn't work. They could care less. One thing about politicians, they come out with something new, but there's never no check on how it's working. That's the problem in our country today. There's
now-
no check.
So they're calling from people's phones. So I still have a landline, one of the 7 people in the world that do. And it comes up as a name. So now I mess with them. Uncle Richard, I haven't talked to you in so long. I learned it from you.
That's right. That's what you do.
And they're like, I'm like, I didn't get my birthday present this year. How come you didn't send it? Like something like
They're going to
They,
hang
they
up.
called it to sell you aluminum siding, and this is not going
Yeah.
the way they wanted to go.
They're going to hang up. They hang up,
and they
don't
hang up.
He did to me yesterday. He did the same thing to me yesterday. I told him, do you live in a house? No, I live in a cave. I'm homeless. Do you have any money? I could use like about $10 to obtain some food to eat tonight. Click.
That's it.
To buy a lighter so I can light
Yeah.
a fire and warm up.
And what do you find the differences between doing municipal stuff today? What do you find the difference in the way municipalities govern today than what they did when you first got into that 40 years ago?
Well, a lot of people in New Jersey don't really have an understanding of municipal government. I always said even back when I was a city councilman, it's easy to come to a council meeting, fill up the room, yell and scream, and and basically be discontent with a lot of things that are going on. And I always said people should either have to go into the military or should have to serve in public office
Right.
to get a real feel for how things work. If you serve as a city councilman, even for a year in your town or a board of education member, you have a whole different perspective. It is not as easy as it looks, and a lot of these people are really trying to do the right thing and trying to be helpful, but there are legal impediments, there are political impediments.
And you're not even picking sides here. You're not saying Republican or Democrat. You're just saying it's a hard job.
It's the same thing in every town.
See, and I think everyone should work in a restaurant for not a day, not a week, at least a month.
That's right.
Because you could have a good week.
Yeah.
Be like, well, I don't know why, you could work the week right before Christmas where it's a madhouse and there's Christmas parties and you're making a ton of money. No, how about you work the week after New Year's?
Right.
The week I take off every year because it's slow and I'm going to Florida to get a tan.
Right, because you're not going to make any money.
Nope.
The week after Valentine's Day,
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
bet you nobody walks in there.
How about the first week in September? Every kid's back at school. They're trying to adjust to their schedules.
They're paying for school uniforms and lunches and all that kind of stuff, and you can't do it all.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the worst law of all. I had my house done. The outside. After I finished the inside, put the pool in, got everything done, I decided to do outside of the house. I found out that in Trenton, they decided that you do not need a permit to do siding on your house. So my siding is all hanging off, falling off, and when I called the construction office, there is nothing they can do. Oh, I'm taking care of it. I've already got both senators. Okay, but piece hit me in the head the very next day. They put it up with staples. And now it's all hanging all off my house. Can you believe that? How do you protect senior citizens if you don't have to have a permit?
So I don't know if this is the right time to say this, but one of the things I always say, I'm sure she's heard me say it, is that real life is just like high school, except the cool kids don't run real life. When we get into adult life, there's so many jobs that have power and authority, and there ain't enough cool kids to go around. Okay? So you end up with people in positions of power and authority who've never, ever, ever had to balance a fight between friends. They've never had to hold somebody accountable before.
Well, they all peaked in high school.
Oh my God. And they never expected, It's the person who, got a job in City Hall because a friend hooked them up when they were 18 or 20. And then they just stayed. And all of a sudden, this person, male or female, is the head of a department. And they never really socialized with anybody.
Nope.
But the folks that said, true story, when I became mayor, Plainfield, New Jersey, very diverse town. I'm 35 years old, and the city hall had a lousy reputation for customer service, just horrible, right? And I'm like, how is this possible? The town is 55% black. The city hall is 55% black. How is it possible that black constituents are complaining about black civil servants about this lousy service? And so when I got to be mayor, I'm like, this is one of the things on my mind. And what I learned was that the black civil servants who had come into City Hall over the last 10 or 15 years prior to me becoming mayor had all learned their jobs from very angry white civil servants who didn't want to see the town go from white to black because we had a riot, blah, 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 right? So these black civil servants picked up all the bad habits of what used to be outstanding white civil servants who were just pissed off. And these black civil servants said, oh, I guess I'm supposed to be pissed off all the time. It was ridiculous.
That's terrible.
I went around the city all ready to throttle people all the time. You know?
Is that why the DMV is awful?
I really think that has a lot to do with it. And I think it's true for a lot of state agencies, DMV being one of them. I think it's true for a lot of elected officials. Okay, the folks in my neighborhood are pissed off. So I'm supposed to go to Trenton or to Washington and be pissed off because that's what they pay me to do. No. They pay you to solve their
The problems. That's what I did. Solve their problems.
One of the observations I've made about government, and it's interesting, if you want to become a laborer in a civil service town, you have to take a test. To be the mayor of the town, you don't have to take any test.
Just got to know 4,000 people that'll vote for you,
That's
right?
You know, your mother used to say, anybody can grow up to be president. That's one of the great things about democracy. It's probably also one of our greatest flaws. Anybody can grow up to be president or any other elected position. And all you need is the support of the people, and however you get it,
You need
it doesn't
the money,
matter.
too.
But there is no correlation
That's the
between
biggest thing.
a quality candidate and an elected candidate.
So let me pick up the point that she just made. You've been in this business a long time. How much does money affect the decisions of otherwise good people?
Today, it's all, running for office today, it's all about money.
That's right.
It's totally about money.
And
he
connections.
who can raise the most money has.
And connections.
I'm not so much talking at the local level. At the
Yeah.
local level, people still want you to do the bread and butter stuff. Bang on the doors, go
That's
door
right.
to door in a town.
That's
but I mean,
right.
you want to run in a legislative district, you want to run a statewide office, even a county office. It's about raising money.
Well, you might have, I might have the best solutions to problems, but I don't have the money to run. When does it become like a
All depends on when you start out. If you're going to start out for city council, it's the people that you know. You have to get out there. You have to get on every door. And the question should be not what you're going to do. What is it that they want? They want their street paved. They want certain things done. And you have to make a list of
Bread
them.
and butter issues.
That's right.
Trees,
That's
curbs,
right.
sidewalks.
That's how I won
Code
2
enforcement.
terms.
Yeah.
You
Right.
got it's not always back in 1980 it wasn't money, it was what can I do to help you? Why are you unhappy living in Franklin Township? And they would tell me, and I'd make a list of it. But back in those days, I had a file cabinet of everybody in the ward. I knew how they voted, when they voted. I could pick up their card and look at it. And I had street patrols on every street when I ran. But you don't look at color, you don't look at any of that. All they want is, can you help me with this? Yes, I can. What do you need? And that's what you go to work on. And then you win. Oh, you win over. And like for instance,
I never won one. I only won one time. Nancy,
time?
sorry.
Oh, listen. I had a
You only
rule-
did one term?
One time.
One term.
I
I
had
thought
a,
you were the mayor there for a long time.
yeah.
So here's the joke. I could go
Wow.
back right now, right? And I could walk any ward in my old town,
They know you.
right? And they still love me, but it's only by comparison to what they got since then. And I'm not knocking anybody.
No,
But
you're good.
I was a personable guy. I grew up in the town. I knew a lot of people. My mom was a school teacher in the town, so she knew a lot of people. That was the advantage that I have, right? Today, in all fairness, to make sure that I'm not talking to anybody, today the mayor of Plainfield just won his 4th term reelection.
Whoa.
And he announced he's running for Congress because Bonnie Watson Coleman is retiring. And I'm like, I shouldn't say this, but I'm like, I feel like all you kids wouldn't have your jobs if I hadn't taken the L, and taken on the powers that be. And some of those powers that be, you know.
Sure.
Okay. I went ahead and tried to slay the dragon. And, that doesn't usually work out. But I know a lot of people who never would have got offered opportunities if I hadn't hit the sacrifice fly. So that's why I'm able to walk through my town at 3:00 in the morning.
But with going back to the political thing and money, don't they all promise the same thing?
Mostly, yeah.
Lower taxes, lower
never
utility
You
costs.
believe
Well,
that?
No,
I hope you don't believe that.
no.
Oh,
It's interesting. I think people demand that politicians and people running for office respond in a certain way. If you tell people what you really believe to be the truth, they're not going to vote for you. You have to tell them what they want to hear,
Lies.
which we've seen happen in this country, in recent years. Tell them what they want to hear, whether it's true or not. You get elected, and then you explain why you can't do exactly what
Well, if
you
they-
wanted
if-
to do.
that's
I mean,
going to
it-
stop
it is-
soon, though.
it-
I
they're gonna stop the
honestly
bullshit.
believe it.
It's hard. I will tell you all this. I mean, I didn't expect to get into this in this conversation, but I will tell you this.
You had said
I-
about politics.
I've been trying to get her to talk about politics for 5 episodes, but we're finally there. I will tell you this, and I believe this as sure as I'm sitting here. I could never have been a 2-term mayor and looked myself in the mirror, right? I could have been a 2-term mayor and kissed everybody's behind and promised them everything and made deals with the loudest people and all that kind of stuff, because that's what politics has been since the beginning of time. That's what it is. It's like you go for the power and then you fight to keep the power. But every now and then somebody has to come on like a what's the word they use, a laxative, and get the bullshit out, right? And I'm sitting here 30 years later, proud to say that a lot of bullshit got flushed on my watch, but not everybody wants that job. There's still people that look at me like, oh, well, they chased you. Well, dude, they chased me last week. That doesn't mean anything to me.
Remember what I said the last time I was here about the governor of the state of New Jersey? And I told you that there's only 5 counties up north that determine who your governor is going to be. South Jersey, they couldn't give a...
We're less populous.
That's right. They couldn't care about you. They care about Camden. Now, I'm not going to say that care about Camden, but I was laughing.
Because it's larger and densely populated. That's the point you're making.
And because...
I'd rather go to Camden than Philadelphia right now.
That's right. Camden is safer. That's right. They've done a great job. The police department in Camden has done a great job in Camden. And you know what else?
Well, the county took over the police department.
Beware,
Camden, right?
because companies are moving in there left and right. Right now, down by the river, they have restaurants. People are coming there with work and everything for Camden. But we have to get strict with our... I'll tell you where our problem is. We have a revolving door. We have a revolving door. They come in jail, go out of jail. They come in jail, they go out of jail. And people say, oh, I have an agency that can help you. I will get you a job. I will help you with housing. All BS, believe me.
Here's one of the problems that I have. I said this in a speech recently, the first speech anybody's asked me to make other than funerals, so I was very excited about it. But what I said was, according to Google, the internet is always right.
Of course.
There's 7 million African Americans walking around with college degrees right now. And there's another 2 or 3 million who have some college. And that doesn't count trade schools, union shops, ex-military, police, right? But there's 1 million black kids, male and female, in jails and prisons. And I am personally tired of those million being the defining image
That's right.
of the other 33 million
That's right.
black folks.
That's right.
Because that's what makes all the BS that you were referring to possible. If the guy in Iowa only hears about drug dealers, black, Hispanic, or Russian, right, then he's going to believe that everybody that looks like that is a drug dealer.
But
That's
they
the
do.
way television works. I can promise you, I have never seen a single guy on television that remotely reminds me of myself. Not at all.
How do you feel about the draft? Are you
Draft?
Yeah. I honestly feel that some children at 17 and 18 need to serve 2 years in the
I
military.
don't have a problem with it.
I don't either. I wish they bring it back. I think they need it. They need discipline. They don't have it at home. I just watch it all the time. These kids come to me, and I can't believe the way they disrespect their mother.
So here,
Well,
go ahead.
I will. So, Mr. Sexy Son, that's my boyfriend. We don't use names. He's still not sure if he's going back to school.
Can I set this one up?
So he said, go in the military.
Dad said that,
Yes.
and it froze.
Won't last a minute.
This is hilarious. So you have to know just a little bit of background. And I only know this because I am a criminal defense attorney and I listen with both ears. Okay, prestigious school within 200 miles of here.
Mm-hmm.
5th or 6th year, still no degree, and Dad is laying out the
$60,000 a year.
the non-financial aid price, okay? And me, as a friend of the bar, I've never had the conversation with Dad, and I've never met the son, but I kicked both my sons out of my house at the appropriate times because my dad threatened to kick me out at the appropriate time, and it changed my life. So I
That's right.
kind of feel like this works.
That's right.
Right? But I'm so proud of Dad for even making the suggestion because, again, black, white, young, old, male, female, gay, straight, I don't give a crap. Either you're involved in our society for something beyond your own instant pleasure or you're not. And everybody in this room, whether it's service industry or public service or the service to the Constitution or the service to my own ego, okay? Whatever it is, you got to do something for somebody other than yourself.
I'll tell you when I became disillusioned with everything. When I worked for the governor, Dick Coffey was head of the Democratic Party.
Wow, you're really.
I'm
bringing
going way
names
back.
now. Yeah.
But I remember sitting in that room. I had just been
I don't
elected.
know who that is.
About 1980 or 79. I had just been elected to the council. Excited. My
Cody?
election was coming in.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Dick Coffey.
Richard
You
Coffey.
guys got me. I
Dick
don't know.
Coffey.
State
I know,
Democratic
I
chairman?
know him well.
Yeah.
Yes. Here's what he said.
I wasn't born.
Here's what he
I was
said.
born,
Or I
but
was-
I
or I was
wasn't
just
in the game.
born.
I wasn't in the game.
But here's what he said that absolutely left me that day stunned. He said, on Tuesday, the election is coming about. Any of the white children, you are to get a resume. Any of the blacks, you are to pay them $40 to work for the day. Now, I sit there trying to comprehend what he was saying. What are you saying? You're saying that the white children get a resume, but that the black children get $40. Remember, I have 2 sons. I went home that day so disillusioned, but then in the governor's office, we had a young man working, and he was in charge of summer jobs for the state. The first applications they pull are the white applications. They give away all the good jobs. The good jobs go to whoever supports the governor and makes donations.
Because that's power, and that's what power does.
That's what it's all about, money and power. Now, he gives out all the jobs for people who are going to come to Trenton. Now he tells me one Wednesday morning, I want you to pull all the black students. And I said, the black ones? Yes, we're going to do parks today. They're going to work in the parks. I quit. I walked into Governor Byrne and said I quit.
And that's Brendan Byrne.
And Brendan Byrne. I was at the convention and the TV cameras came on me, and I told them how pleased I was and honored to be here with the governor of New Jersey. When I got back to my hotel room, flowers, wine, everything. And he asked for a meeting with me and told me I was to report to his office on Monday morning. But I quit that Thursday because my son is Black. You're putting my son into, and he was in college, you're putting him into the parks to clean the bathrooms. Not fair. Just not fair. But anyway, I took over the program. And Willie Brown and Lenola,
Brown.
what's her name? Lenola, the lady from
Winona Lippman.
Oh my God, she was great. She
We
came-
represented her too.
Did you? She came in to see me every day. Now I'm going to ask you a question. What is BEOG?
BEOG. I don't have this.
What is BEOG?
It's Bego.
One day I'm in my office and I'm writing a check for $3,500 to the college where my son is going. A senator walked in and said, "Why are you doing that?" And I said, "Because it's due. I have to pay it." "Why don't you look up BEOG? All of us are under BEOG." I said, "Well, what is BEOG?" Basic Educational Opportunity Grant. They pay you to go to school. They pay you to go to school. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Our children are coming out of school today owing $80,000 and $90,000. How do you? I have friends of mine that are living in the basement of their mother and father's home because they can't afford to advance. It's not fair. It's not
It's absolutely
fair.
not.
When did education become so expensive?
That's an excellent question.
That's right.
And there's actually.
And I can tell you
Go ahead.
possibly why,
Go ahead.
and people may not agree with
Fleur.
my decision
Go ahead.
of saying this. You're paying student athletes. They're already getting a free education.
Respectfully,
Okay.
you're paying some student athletes.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying $2 philosopher authors who have big names. And so if I can get Jane Doe, PhD, who has a best-selling book to come to
At the
Rutgers
Mm-hmm.
at the time, I can pay her $1 million for something that everybody else does for $75,000, right? And somebody has to pay for that. You're paying for, no disrespect to anybody, but a whole, because you know how human beings work, a whole hierarchy of administrators. I tell everybody that every form of human organization ends up looking like this.
Yeah.
Few people at the top, a lot of people at the bottom.
People-
and all these people have taken advantage.
I think people laugh. They're like, "Oh, you want to get into like Rodan and Fields? That's a pyramid scheme." You don't think any big business? You don't think the president of
Everything.
Comcast is not making $40,000 a year? He's making $40,000 a minute. Like, and you don't think that's a pyramid scheme? Why am I paying $300 for Comcast to have him charter private flights wherever he wants to go?
So Wendy Hollywood has made one of our rules here is that here in our imaginary bar, the Triangle Pub, we don't talk politics because you don't talk politics in a regular bar because alcohol and politics with people who don't know each other well probably doesn't mix. But that being said, I can say with a high degree of confidence that if John David Rockefeller was the richest man in the world with $400 million, then nobody needs $400 billion. There's no way that isn't an obscene ripoff of the people at the bottom. And that's where I have my trouble. And that's black, white, male, female, young, old, you know, African American, Indian, European. I don't give a crap. There's 330 million Americans, and 10 of them make as much as the other 320 million. When did we abandon all reason? You know, when did we just give it all up? But then I understand.
But your life has become a game now. I hope you realize that. It's a game.
But
And it's a game
I mean,
you can't win.
That's
I'm not
you can't win
saying-
it. But you can exist in it. You can exist in it. You're not going to win it.
You're not going to win it.
But if you want some better things in life and you want to move ahead, Maybe not as fast as you'd like to. It's a game.
It's a hard thing. You were going to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying we should be Russia and become
No.
socialist, because that didn't work out.
No.
But there's no need for someone to make $36 million a year, including athletes. Like, why am I going? First of all, I'm paying ridiculous amounts of money to go to a game, which I've stopped doing.
Right.
Then, you want to have a drink?
$45 if you want the good
It's
stuff.
$1,000
$25
It is.
if you want the bad stuff.
$16 for a hot dog.
15 if you're lucky.
Yeah,
the
I
last
know.
time Mr. Sexy and I went to a pro sport event, our tickets were over $1,000
Just to get in the room.
just to walk in the door. Luckily, I know people because I'm a bartender.
That's
Why
what's
we have
good.
this show.
That's what's good.
I'm trying to hook into the bartender network.
That's right. They get to meet everybody.
I'll tell you what. We both had a really good time that day. But it's expensive. It's $45 for 2 drinks.
Ridiculous. The mother of my grandchild loves to travel. Thank God, because she's brought my grandchild from California to here 5 times in 5 years, and I've gone out there.
So cute.
But last year, this time, she wanted to go to Chicago. She went to Chicago. She took the kid and a friend, and she sent me pictures from the private booth that she was watching this baseball game. I can't remember whether it was
One of the sky boxes.
the
luxury
sky boxes. And she said that she paid $12 a ticket because it's Chicago.
Yeah.
And not New York or LA.
Or Philadelphia.
Okay? It's not Philadelphia. It's not Miami. Okay?
Well, we were just, I've got a little condo. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We've
No,
got
you
a little
didn't. Go ahead.
condo in Florida in Highland Beach. And we were down 2 weeks ago, and we were on the beach on Saturday, and my wife has become a football aficionado. Oh, and she used to get up and
Walk
take
out
her
of the room.
computer, walk out of the room
Yeah, sure.
when it came on. Now, not only does she watch it, she likes to bet on it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We're laying on the beach, and we said, tomorrow the Bills are playing the Dolphins. I said, why don't you see if you could get tickets? She got tickets online, $250 a piece. I
That's
said, what is
cheap.
this, New York?
That's
and then when we
cheap.
got there, we didn't have a parking pass. And the guy said, well, you don't have a parking pass. I was already 10 miles away. He wanted
Right.
us to park 40 miles
Right,
away.
right.
So I had to duke him pretty good to get him to
Yeah,
let me
find
slip
a
into
spot,
a space there.
Yeah.
So, I thought the same thing. I said, what could it be in Miami? $40, $50?
Where's Highland Beach?
Right between where Delray and Boca meet. It's only about 1.5 miles long, and it's only as wide as the ocean to the intercoastal. It's only condos. There's nothing
That's
else
right.
there.
Just gonna say that.
I'll be
It's
in
only
Delray the first week
condos.
in
Oh, yeah?
January. Yep.
Yeah,
It's only
You
condos.
stay at the Seagate.
yeah. We're going down. We bought it like 8 years ago. We go down 7-8 days at a time, come back. I could never live down there. People say, why
I
don't you
couldn't
move
in
to
a heartbeat.
Florida? Because it's like Groundhog Day. Every day down there is the same day. Get up, go have bagels with the guys, do a little work maybe, hit the beach, come back up, have a cocktail, go out to dinner, come home, watch TV, go to sleep.
See,
Next day, same thing. Next
I
day,
always
same thing.
said to Mr. Sexy, we're moving to Florida. We're moving to Florida. Until we went to the Bahamas. And I said, we're moving to the Bahamas
Okay, well, now
when
we
you
have a new goal.
retire.
Really, Bob?
I'm not leaving Jersey. I'll be dying in
I'll
Jersey.
be right
People
here
say
with
to
you.
me, when, are you going to leave and move to some
You're
other
not
state? I
gonna
said,
leave.
never.
We need to pay
You're not
taxes.
going
I would miss the bread. I would miss the Taylor
That's true.
ham.
That's
I would
true.
miss the, all the cool stuff, the access to the city. I mean, I just would never leave
That's
Jersey.
true. We're so close to everything.
And now that I've discovered South Jersey for 25 years, and I can drive to New York in an hour, and I can drive to DC in 2.5, and I can drive to Philly
Philly.
35, 40.
It's convenient.
It's it's a lot of stuff
But
going
I
on.
said Bahamas because it's a 45-minute plane ride to go to Miami for doctor's appointments.
There is that.
Do you know how many people come from Florida and other places to New York to their doctor? I have 2 friends
Plenty.
because New York has the greatest doctors in the world, but they would never give up their appointments in New York.
I've heard that some places have free health care in their whole countries. I wonder what that might be like.
Well, they do, but you don't want it.
So
It's like going to the clinic.
It's
I am
free.
confident that
So it's like going
that
to
the
clinic.
great American
But you pay
capitalist
more.
thing can figure out a way to have everybody have health care, and the folks who want to pay for extra can get extra. I
Most
think we
people
can
do
it.
in other countries that do have free healthcare. They do pay
Why
for the
not?
extra.
Why
They
not?
have a sticker on their car. If you get into a car accident, they call the private ambulance, take you to that private hospital.
Wow.
Do you believe it's getting better?
No.
I do.
Seriously.
Yes.
You think
Yes.
it's getting
because
better?
I've had 50 years to think about it, Miss Nancy.
What, healthcare or life?
Everything is getting better. I believe it. I do.
I don't. I've had
Listen,
85 years.
Yeah,
we
well,
And I'm telling you,
there's
it's
that.
a big difference.
The
point
Things
of-
have gotten a little bit, but money talks and
Always
bullshit walks.
Always
And
is.
the world is going where the rich are. Forget that. If you don't
the
have
point
money,
of this
forget it.
podcast is to try and make the world better.
Who
Amen.
is?
This
podcast?
Oh.
That's why we had you back twice,
Yeah,
Nancy.
well, we'll do it.
'Cause we know
I'm
we're
not-
good for that.
I'm not saying
I
we
wanna
can
thank
do
you.
it.
Thank you for coming down and sharing Miss Nancy
Yes.
with us.
Oh,
This
I'm
is
glad
great.
to see him.
Oh, it's so
I'm
good
so
to see
happy
you.
to
I have no
see
idea.
him. Boy, 40 years. Oh,
That's
my
it.
God.
Over.
That's it.
How
it.
could that be?
We
And that's
appreciate you
Tempest
both
Fusion.
coming.
That's it.
I enjoy coming here.
That's
I
a wrap.
enjoy our conversation, and I learn a lot.
Thank you, Doc.